Yeah, who's got it, who doesn't? We're about to find out. Harvick, Stewart, Mark Martin, Casey Kane, all of them using the apron of the racetrack as we get set to go back under green and finish it here at Talladega.
They move down into the dog leg, heading down to the start-finish line. If you've never been to Talladega, the finish line is way down toward turn number 1. Green flag goes in the air, and here they come. Tighten your seatbelt and hang on. We will have one wild finish. Across the line, heading off into the corner, door-to-door, Clint Boyer, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola, and Tony Stewart. That's the front 5. How long will they stay there?
They're 3 wide further back in the pack. Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to the high line, the extreme high line, but it's not going to work for him. Front of the pack, Boyer to the lead. Harvick side by side with Kenseth for second.
Mid-pack, Ryan Newman just elbows his way up the gut. 4 wide as everybody now wrestling for real estate. Clint Boyer gets pushed up into the apron. He comes back onto the racetrack. 3 wide for second. Harvick is in the middle. Tony Stewart topside.
Everybody chasing Matt Kenseth further back. They are racing 4 wide. They are racing 3 wide for second. Up front, Matt Kenseth has a Ford out front. Then it's Boyer, Harvick, and Tony Stewart.
Trevor Bayne had to come to pit road, a fuel pickup problem, but Matt Kenseth up front coming back to the line. White flag about to be displayed at Talladega Superspeedway. The challenge is on. Tony Stewart comes by in the outside lane. Stewart takes the lead at turn 1.
Tony Stewart to the lead, but it's not over yet. Kenseth goes to the outside. He wants to challenge. They're 3 wide behind them. They're 4 wide further back. Everybody 4 wide, led by Tony Stewart.
4 wide and leaning on each other up the back straightaway for the final time here at Talladega. Tony Stewart is there in the lead. Matt Kenseth behind him in second. Kevin Harvick in third. 4 wide through the rest of the field in 3.
Here comes Mark Martin working out. Kevin Harvick is spun. He crashes. Kevin Harvick is upside down. Matt Kenseth gets away with the race lead. Everybody piled up, but Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, and Kyle Busch.
Here they come now back to the line. The multi-car pile-up down in turn number 4. Tony Stewart, who was leading, involved in the crash as they come down to the line. And it will be Matt Kenseth surviving to win the Good Sam 500. Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, then David Reagan, and Greg Biffle. That will be your unofficial top 5. Let's go back to Jeff Striegel.
Well, the car that I'm looking for, and I don't see, and he may have already come across the line, was Kevin Harvick. It looked like that car got upside down. Tony Stewart sits right in front of me, torn up. Marcus Ambrose. You've got Michael Waltrip is torn up. Clint Boyer climbing out of his battered race machine. Paul Menard is down here as well. Almost everybody, Joe, except those top 3 cars, were able to escape a massive pileup coming to the checkered flag here at Talladega.
Well, you knew it was just a matter of time that probably would happen, but that's when you come to Talladega, that's exactly why the race fans like to come and see the excitement here at this racetrack. Didn't have to worry about the fuel gamble up there. It never materialized.
They made it, but again, what a wild last lap. Here is Tony Stewart climbing out of his car after a wild ride up in the corner. Bobby Labonte came back into the tri-oval. His car was on fire. Same for Jimmy Johnson. Johnson's car is completely crisped up on the right-hand side. Labonte's climbed out. They're tending to Jimmy Johnson. Looks like he's about to climb out of his car. Damage on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. The whole right rear is torn up as he cuts a donut for the fans here at the start-finish line, try to make something good out of what turned into a terrible day for him. And now his teammate going over to say hello. So what a wild finish here today at Talladega Superspeedway. Matt Kenseth wins the race. Jimmy Johnson climbs into Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car to hitch a ride back to pit road because his car burned to the ground over there.
We'll be right back. We are back at the Talladega Superspeedway right now. Let's go down and see if we can catch up with some of the top 5 finishers.
And down here, Greg Biffle, Kyle Busch, both of them kind of describing amongst a laugh and probably a big sigh as well how in the world they got through Talladega. Greg Biffle, 5th place right now. What did you see out there coming to the checkered flag, or did you get a chance to see anything?
If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Unbelievable. I was probably 20th and 5 wide over there up against the wall. Car, they started wrecking. Car flew over top of my car as I turned to the bottom, and I missed guys by 3 inches and coming through, Days of Thunder, coming through the smoke and the grass, and just kept it going straight. That's all I did, and once I was clear of all the stuff, I kept going to the start-finish line. But It was the craziest thing I've ever been involved in my life.
Greg Biffle comes home 5th. Let's check in with Steve Post.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson. Well, Jimmy, what did you see out there on that last lap?
I guess I was in next to the top lane going into 3, and I could see it getting tight. I assume we were 4 wide, if not 5 wide. And I saw some tire smoke and guys touching, and then before I know it, we were all sucked up into the outside wall. And I couldn't see anything from that point. I downshifted, stood on the gas, and was going to try to rim ride the wall back to the finish line. I hit someone, and that spun me around and kind of messed me up. But I was able to get rolling and at least get the start finish.
That's just Talladega. With this point battle, you kind of knew coming in the risk you take right here.
Yeah, we all knew. I mean, I guess I got to look at the bright side. I finished a plate race.
There we go. Jimmy Johnson finished the plate race. Alex?
Kyle Busch came home 3rd today, having a word with crew chief Dave Rogers. Wow, Talladega Racing. Let's first of all talk about what just happened there through turns 3 and 4. Essentially the final lap there. Kyle, what did you see and how'd you get through it?
Well, I was on the bottom. I was about 7-8 rows back on the bottom. We were slow. We were the slowest lane, and I just seen everybody going by. And just all right, we'll just finish where we finished there. And then I don't know what happened up front. I think the 14 is the first thing I saw get turned sideways, and then I think he ended up upside down going over Biffle, and then I could see him outside my right window. But I shot for the apron as best I could to just get away from everything and dodge the cars that were coming down the banking and coming back to the infield. So we made it through, and the M&M's Camry was good today. It was really, really fast, and we made it through unscathed and finished 3rd, so not too bad.
Kyle Busch comes home 3rd today. Back to Brian Nelson in the garage.
Clint Boyer's out of the infield care center. Hot rod all day long. Clint real fast there, but what happened at the end?
It looked like the 14 come down and blocked the 55 and got turned and crashed us all. But, it's just a shame. I got myself in the right situation where I wanted to be and just didn't win.
All right, Clint had an opportunity to win his 3rd fall race in a row here, but it didn't work out this afternoon.
So that's the thoughts of some of the drivers down there involved in the crash. 20 cars, they're saying, were involved in that last lap crash in turn number 4. But for Matt Kenseth, what a huge day, Barney. Because of the way things shook out in the points, quite a few other of the guys who were up front finished among the top 10 or 15 too. Matt only gained 10 points. He's still in the basement as far as the championship point standings. 62 out of the lead, back in the 12th position. And the points up front, Brad Keselowski has increased his lead to 14 over Jimmy Johnson. Both those guys had relatively good days today. Well, Jimmy up until this very last lap. Denny Hamlin is 3rd in the points now. Casey Kane is 4th. Clint Boyer 5th. The biggest jump was by Jeff Gordon. He moved up 4 spots in the points with his great run today, finishing 2nd at Talladega Superspeedway. Let's check the quest for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series points, brought to you by CarQuest. Again, Keselowski has the lead by 14 over Jimmy Johnson. Denny Hamlin is 3rd in the points. 4th is Casey Kane. Clint Boyer 5th. As I said, Jeff Gordon moved up 4 spots. He's in 6th. Tony Stewart dropped 2 spots. He was 7th. Martin Truex Jr. is 8th in the point standings. Greg Biffle 9th, and 10th is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Kevin Harvick 11th, and Matt Kenseth 12th. 62 points among the top 12 contenders as they move on to the halfway point of the chase next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. CarQuest Auto Parts is over 3,000 locations across North America. Great people, great products, and great prices.
Let's go down to Alex Hayden.
Jeff Gordon came home today with a solid effort, getting us through this and escaping with a 2nd place finish. He's just had a quick word with his team, and Jeff, 2nd place finish today in what most people just simply describe as Talladega. How wild was it?
Oh my goodness, that's Talladega on steroids. That was just crazy. I was in a good position, not the perfect position, but a good position there on that last restart behind Casey Kane, my teammate. Had the 18 behind me, great pusher. And, we took off and we're running wide open and just pushing everybody, in front of us. But we weren't going anywhere. We just weren't making any ground in the middle lane. The outside lane was moving. We got into turn 3, and I saw smoke. I was right on Casey. I hit him as he checked up, and the guys in front of him checked up, and I got hit from behind from the 18, and that just turned me down the apron, and I drove by every one of them, and except for the 17. I saw he was the only one that made it, and I was the next one, and we come home 2nd. That is that's an incredible finish for us for this Drive In Hunger Chevrolet. You know, this you hate to see carnage like that happen. You know it's going to happen here at Talladega, but for us to get back in this championship, you know, we had to finish second, or, you know, have a great finish like we did today. So thankful to the team. Awesome race car we had all day long. This is just such a hard race to figure out how to run. You're pushing guys, trying to get to the front, but then you got steam blowing out. You know, you're trying not to lose water and trying to, you know, get yourself in position, but then you get shuffled back. It's just, I can't even describe what it's really like as a driver.
Jeff Gordon did a pretty good job of it, though. Comes home second, back in the championship fight. He's gained 4 positions.
Let's hear from the winner. Let's go down to Gatorade Victory Lane.
So much to talk about with Matt Kenseth. Let's start with that last lap and Tony getting around you, and then what all you saw happen.
Yeah, Clint and I got together a little bit in the backstretch, so I don't know if that was my bad and we weren't exactly all the way clear what happened there, but that really slowed the group down, and we got a big lead, which typically isn't good here. So I just looked in my mirror, I saw him coming at me there 3 wide, and kind of let Tony have his spot there. It didn't look like he had a big push behind him, and lined up with Kevin. And we pretty much stayed locked together there until we got to turn 3, and thought it was going to be a drag race to finish. Didn't know what was going to happen, and I'm not sure what happened yet. I haven't seen it, but somehow I think Tony got turned and caused a big wreck.
How about that save that you had earlier? You and Greg Biffle go to the front. Y'all got together. Greg radioed in and said, I thought we were going to the bottom. You go to the apron. Take us through that. That was one heck of a save.
I was trying to go to the bottom, but not that far. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of those I'd love to take the credit for, but it's probably pretty much lucky. So, just kind of held the wheel, and the car sort of caught itself, and thankfully we were able to straighten it out with no damage. So, just proud of Doug Yates, all guys at Roush Fenway for giving me such a rocket ship.
All right, you fell back early on and were able to drive back through the front. And you said you thought the car wasn't quite as quick. What made the difference?
We had a lot of speed today, more than I thought we had. There's just certain spots in the track I couldn't run. I couldn't make it work. And we were really loose. We were on the bottom and had people pushing me and people outside of me. It was just really hard to control, and the track kept getting looser for me as the day went on. Never could get it tightened up. So really on the last lap, that's a lot why I chose the middle groove. I knew I couldn't be on the bottom or I'd get spun out, so I had to run the middle or the top, to try to make a move.
I don't think I've checked the numbers, but a first, 2 firsts, and 2 thirds, that's probably the best average finish for a plate year of anybody since we've gone to the plates. How do you feel about that?
It feels great this year. I'm not sure it balances out. I feel like I'm pretty clumsy at plate racing my whole career. Never had a lot of great finishes, but I'm glad the plan came together. Like I said, these are the guys that deserve it. They do all the work and make these cars go fast. I was just holding the wheel.
Congratulations, and you held it pretty well, as Leonard Woodward said. It was a pretty wheel.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's the second time in 2012 and the 23rd time in his Sprint Cup career. Matt Kenseth in Victory Lane.
Celebration continues down in Gatorade Victory Lane. Gatorade is the official sports beverage of the Talladega Superspeedway.
Over to Brian Nelson.
Tony Stewart's emerged from the infield care center, carries his helmet back to the holler and smoke. Can you take us through it? Well, he's gone. So we had our opportunity, but we lost it.
All right, Tony Stewart was in the lead coming into turn number 3 and then caught up in all the melee there. 20 cars involved as Matt Kenseth drove to Victory Lane. Back down to Steve Post.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he has climbed out of his car and holding court with some reporters down here, and we'll see if we can catch up with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and talk about his final lap here. Junior, your final lap here at Talladega. Tell us what happened from your vantage point.
I couldn't see. I just was riding along, and everybody crashed. The whole field.
What the racing out there today? How was your car? How was your run prior to that last quarter of a lap?
My car was awesome. My team did a good job and put together an awesome race car.
There we go. Dale Earnhardt Jr. happy with his race car, but disappointed with the finish he came out of here with today.
We'll wrap things up when we come back to Talladega.